Okay, so in the last session, we started the simple storage service, which is S3, and we learned about what is the object-based storage and what is the S3 bucket and how to create an S3 bucket and what are the naming conventions or what are the rules we must follow while creating the S3 bucket. We have learned these things, and also we created our first S3 bucket, right? And we observe all the objects, whatever the objects we upload, they are private by default. And then we have seen like how to enable ACL and what is the use of a block all public access feature, how to disable it and why we need to disable it and how to convert an object into public. These are the things which we covered in the yesterday's session, right? And also, whenever we uploaded an object, whenever we uploaded an object, we observed that the objects are getting uploaded using standard storage class, right? Standard storage class. So in this session, what we are going to do is we are going to learn about what are the different storage classes available, what are the different storage classes available, and what are the use cases. I mean, like when to use which storage class, and we will upload the objects using different storage classes also, right? That is the today's agenda. Just give me a second. Let me log into the AWS account first, and then we will go through each and every storage class available on Amazon S3. So actually, I forgot to log in. Let me log in quickly. Okay. Okay. So first, what I do is I will go to the S3 bucket which we created in the yesterday's session. Let us observe the storage class which was used by default, and then I will display the list of available storage classes for S3. Then we will talk about each and every storage class. Okay, what is the bucket we created yesterday? This is the S3 bucket, right? My first S3 bucket, 24 September 2025. If I click that, you can see the list of objects. And here the storage class is shown as a standard, right? By default, you can see all the storage option, all the objects are uploaded using standard storage class. Now the question is, what are the other storage classes available? One is a standard, which already we have seen. Then we have standard IA, intelligent tier, one zone IA. We have a multiple things. So let me show the AWS documentation page where we can see the list of all storage classes, and then we can talk about each and every storage class. Okay, so it's not that much user friendly to understand, but let me explain. So here you can see first one is the Amazon S3 standard, right? Which is also known as the S3 standard. Then intelligent tiering, and here you can see general purpose. S3 standard to be used for general purpose usage, whereas the intelligent tiering can be used for unknown or changing access. Okay, so I don't want to explain this terminology. Let me explain in a different way, which is easy for you guys to understand. So first, let me list out all the storage classes. S3 offers different storage classes which can be used for different use cases. So what are the storage classes available? First one is S3 standard. First one is S3 standard. Here we can see. The second one is S3 intelligent tiering. Then the next one is Express One Zone. Express One Zone. Let us keep this aside. We will talk about this Express One Zone at the last. Then S3 standard IA. Then S3 One Zone IA. then Glacier Instant Retrieval, Glacier Flexible Retrieval, and Glacier Deep Archive. Glacier Instant Retrieval, Glacier Flexible Retrieval, and Glacier Deep Archive. Earlier, all these three are combined and they provided as a single storage class, which is a Glacier. Then they divided into three different things. And then here we have Express, One, Zone, IA, right? This is the one. Express One Zone, not IA, sorry. Okay, what all these are? So here, let us talk about first standard. What exactly the standard storage class is? Standard storage class is general or most commonly used storage class to store the frequently accessed data. To store the frequently accessed data. What does that mean? What does that mean? If you want to upload some data and the data to be accessible regularly, not once in a month or once in a while. If that object is accessed like frequently, then we have to use this standard storage class for frequently accessed data, like more than once in a month. Let us say if I upload an image or a PDF document which contains study material, generally multiple people will access that document multiple times, right? It means frequently accessed data. Such kind of data to be stored in the standard storage class. Why? Why? Because there is something called retrieval charges. Retrieval charges, which are zero in the standard storage class. What does that mean by retrieval charges? Let us say there is a 1 MB file. One person downloaded or opened that 1 MB PDF document, which means the user retrieved 1 MB data. If 100 users access the same object, 100 MB data has been retrieved. If there is a charge for the retrieval, then you will be charged for 100 MB retrieval data. That's why whatever the frequently accessed data is there, that has to be stored in standard storage class. That is not only the feature. To make it better, let me show you here. What is the first one? Standard storage class. What is the use case, or why it is designed for? Frequently accessed data means more than once a month with millisecond access. With millisecond access means no need to wait. No need to wait. The data can be accessed instantly. No need to send a request. Okay, I want to access the data. Please make that file or object accessible for me. No need to send any such kind of things. I can say that with immediate access. No need to wait. No wait time. In such cases, the standard storage class is recommended to use. And then this standard storage class is available for general purpose buckets. Yesterday, if you remember, I mentioned that first let us talk about general purpose storage, general purpose buckets, and then we will move to directory type of a buckets. If you see, all storage classes are for general purpose except one zone IA, because the one zone IA is available on general purpose or a directory also, directory type of a bucket. Okay, now let us talk about more features of the S3. So here you can see availability zones, means the data can be copied, the data can be maintained across minimum 3 availability zones. I can say data can be maintained across availability zones, means across 3 different availability zones, your data will be maintained so that if one availability zone crashed, there is no data loss. Your data can be recovered from a different availability zone. I can say, yeah, data can be maintained across. Instead of this, let us make it in as a tabular form for easy understanding. I can say availability zones. Data is maintained across minimum 3 availability zones, and then minimum storage duration is not applicable. What does that mean? If you store the data for 1 day, you will be charged for 1 day only. If you store for 10 days, you will be charged for 10 days. There is no minimum requirement or minimum lock-in period like 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months. There is no minimum storage duration. Minimum billable object size. What does that mean is, if I upload 1 KB file, I will be charged for 1 KB. If I upload 1 MB file, I will be charged for 1 MB. If I upload 0.5 bytes of size, I will be charged for that only. There is no rule that you must store minimum this much size object also. Like in the olden days, if you make a call to like for 30 seconds also, you will be charged for 1 minute, right? It's been like 15 years ago or so. If you make a call for just 10 seconds, you will be charged for 1 minute. That is what minimum call duration, minimum billable call duration. But here, there is no minimum billable object size for the standard storage class. Whatever you upload, you will be charged for that much only. And is there any monitoring charges? Is there any monitoring charges? There is no monitoring charges. There are no monitoring charges. There is only one storage class for which there is a monitoring charges applicable, and that I will let you know. Monitoring and auto tiring fees, which is not applicable, and then retrieval fees, also not applicable. There is no retrieval fees. It is designed for frequently accessed data, designed for frequently accessed data, which is required with immediate access. This is the standard storage class. Like most frequently or most commonly used storage size is a standard. Then you will understand better once we are done with all storage classes. Standard IA. Standard IA. Can you guess what might be the IA stands for? Can you guess what might be the IA? IA stands for infrequent access. IA stands for infrequent access. Can you guess what is the use case or why it is designed? This storage class is designed to store infrequently accessed data. Infrequent, I mean like the data which can be accessed just once in a month. Just once in a month. So here see, infrequently accessed data. It is designed for infrequently accessed data with millisecond access, like with immediate access. So why should we store here? Infrequently means we don't regularly access it, right? So here in the standard IA, the storage charges per GB is 50% less than the standard storage class. But there is a retrieval fee. Every time the object is accessed, there is a retrieval charges. So if the object is not regularly accessed, then why should I pay more by keeping that in the standard storage class? Let us say in the standard storage class, if they cost you like 100 rupees per GB, in the standard IA, they only charge 50 rupees per GB. But if you access the object, there is a retrieval charges. What is the drawback or what is the disadvantage if you store regularly or frequently accessed data in the standard IA? For storage, you will be charged 50 rupees only. But if 1,000 people access the data, 1,000 times 1 GB file is retrieved, and that's you will be charged for 1,000 GB of retrieval charges. For that reason, standard IA is recommended to store infrequently accessed data. It is recommended to store infrequently accessed data. What does that mean by infrequently accessed? The objects which is accessed just once in a month. Okay, now In the standard IA, in how many zones the data will be maintained? Here also minimum 3, minimum across 3 availability zones. Is see here minimum across 3 availability zones, and minimum storage duration here is 30 days. What does that mean? If you store 1 GB data for 1 day, and if you delete after 1 day, you will be charged for 30 days. So if you want to store the data for at least more than 30 days, then only you have to keep in the standard IA, or else you will be charged for the entire month. What is the minimum billable object size? 128 KB. What does that mean? If you upload 10 KB file, just 10 KB file, you will be charged for 128 KB. That is a minimum billable object size. Here also there is no monitoring charges applicable or auto tiring fees applicable. And coming to the retrieval charges, yes, it is applicable for every GB of data what the users retrieve. For that much size, you will be applicable with the charges per GB. How many GBs of data has been retrieved? For that much, you will be charged. Then we have something called intelligent tier. Can you guess what might be this intelligent tier? Let us say you want to store one object, but you don't know the access pattern, like whether it is going to be a frequently accessed or infrequently accessed. In such cases, intelligent tier is recommended. Why? Why? Because initially your data will be stored in the standard storage class in the backend. Whenever the object is not accessed for a 30 days, automatically it will be moved into standard IA in the backend. Means after 30 days, if the object is not accessed once in a month, Amazon will start charging as per standard IA. And whenever someone is trying to access the object, automatically it will be moved to standard storage class. That's why intelligent tier is recommended for the object. I can say it is designed for the data with changing access pattern. Like for a few days, it is frequently accessed. For a few days, it is infrequently accessed, or at all, you don't know the access pattern, whether you don't know like whether it is regularly accessible or infrequently accessible. In such cases, you have to choose intelligent tier. So here in the intelligent tier also, the data will be stored across minimum 3 availability zones. Minimum 3 availability zones. And there is no minimum storage duration. You can keep it for 1 day, you can keep it for 10 days, that doesn't matter. Minimum billable object size not applicable. But here, monitoring charges are applicable. Why? Continuously, Amazon S3 service will monitor all your objects. Why? Whether the objects are frequently accessed or infrequently accessed. Based on that, your object will be moved across different storage classes in the backend. For that reason, monitoring per object is applicable if the object is more than 128 KB, but the charges are very nominal. What about the retrieval fees? Retrieval fees not applicable. Then what is the next one? We covered these three, right? The next one is one zone IA. Can you guess what might be this one zone IA storage class is? Can you guess? In the name itself, it is having one zone, right? Means your data will be stored in only one availability zone. What is the use case? The use case is the data, whatever the data you store, if something went wrong and if the data got cracked, data gets lost, if that will not impact your business continuity. How? If the data can be easily recreatable, that is the first point. And whatever the data can be recreatable, and if that data is infrequently accessed, then you have to keep that data in the one zone IA. I will give a simple example. Let us say you are running an online store, right? Let's take the example of Amazon online store. Whenever you open a product, you can see multiple images of the product, right? but that's not the high quality image. You can see some thumbnails, but whenever you click on the thumbnail, it will display the high quality image of the product, right? So what Amazon will do, they will store the original images, and then they will create uh, like a small size of the original HD images. So if the thumbnails got deleted accidentally, you have access to the original images, which you can easily recreate, right? To store such kind of data, it is recommended to keep one zone IA. So we can say the data which can be easily recreatable and the data which is infrequently accessed. In such cases, you have to choose one zone IA. So in how many availability zones the data will be maintained? Just one, just in one availability zone. If that availability zone crashed, there might be a chances that you might lose your data. And minimum storage duration is 30 days. If you delete the data after 2 days also, you will be charged for 30 days. Minimum billable object size, same as above, which is 128 KB. There is no monitoring and auto tiling charges. Retrieval fees, yes, applicable per GB. How much GB of data has been retrieved, for that you will be charged. That is what one zone IA. Now here we have something called a glacier, right? Glacier. So glacier is designed to archive the data. What is the meaning of an archive? What is the meaning of an archive? Glacier storage classes are designed to archive the data for a longer periods, like 10 years, 20 years, 50 years. That is what the archive for future reference. And Glacier offers three different types of storage classes, which already I mentioned above. Let me copy paste again these three. Glacier instant retrieval, Glacier flexible retrieval, and Glacier deep archive. So coming to this Glacier, these are the cheapest storage classes. Means you will get the data stored for very lowest possible cost. I will show you the pricing so that you will get some clarity. So first one is Glacier instant retrieval is the first storage class. What it is designed for? It is designed to archive the data for a longer periods, but if you need the data to be accessible within no time, designed for long-lived archive data, means you want to keep the data for few years, but the data is going to be accessed once in a quarter, once in a 3 months. Like every day you will create a backups of your databases and you want to keep the databases forever, like 10 years or 20 years. But every quarter in your organization, you might perform some kind of disaster recovery test. Means you need to access that backup file and you need to perform a disaster recovery on a test instances, right? Means if you want to access the data once in a quarter, but you don't want to wait for like 1 hour or 5 hours or 10 hours. You want to access the data instantly. Then the Glacier instant retrieval is recommended. Glacier instant retrieval is recommended if you want to retrieve the data instantly and the data is a kind of archive data and that data to be accessible once in a quarter, not more than once in every 3 months. So in how many availability zones the data, if you observe here, for every availability zone, sorry, for every storage class, the data is going to be maintained across minimum 3 availability zones, except one storage class. Easily we can remember because it contains one in the name of the storage class. Okay, we are talking about Glacier instant retrieval. So minimum 3. Minimum storage duration 90 days. Means you must keep the data for at least 90 days. Minimum billable object size is going to be 128 KB. Monitoring charges not applicable. Retrieval fees applicable per GB fees. For every GB of data you retrieve, you will be charged according to that. Then Glacier flexible retrieval. It is also for long-lived archive data. What exactly the difference is? This part. If the data is accessed not once in a quarter, and this also not with instant retrieval, means if you can wait for some time, if you can wait for some time, you don't need instant access to the data, then you can go for Glacier flexible retrieval. It is designed for, again, long-lived archived data accessed once a year with retrieval of minutes to hours. No need of instant access. I can wait 5 minutes or 10 minutes or up to few hours. Then you can. What does that mean? I will explain that also. So here, in how many availability zones the data will be maintained across minimum 3 availability zones. Minimum storage duration is 90 days. Minimum billable object size not applicable. Monitoring and auto tiring charges not applicable. Retrieval fees, yes, applicable per GB. So what does that mean is, here, if you want to access the data, you should wait, you should wait for minutes to hours. Why? First, we need to send a retrieval request. Then S3 makes the data available in minutes to hours. We will see that practically. So if you click on the object and if you click on download, you can't see the open or download. You can't see such options. Why? The data is not available for immediate access. There should be a wait time of minutes to hours. Why should I wait? Because the storage charge is very, very, very minimum. If your business allows you to wait for a specific kind of a data, then you can store such data into Glacier flexible retrieval. And finally, Glacier deep archive. This is also designed for long-lived data, but what is the difference? Not minutes to hours. It's definitely hours. You have to wait for hours. You can't get your data within minutes. Designed for long-lived archived data, accessed less than once a year with retrieval of hours. Means if you can wait for few hours to get the data accessible, then you can use Glacier Deep Archive. What are the characteristics of this? Let us write down. So your data will be maintained across 3 availability zones. There is no doubt in that. And minimum storage duration is 180 days. Minimum billable object size not applicable. Monitoring and auto tiring not applicable. Retrieval fees applicable. And here we need to wait few hours to get the data accessible. And here I said we need to send a retrieval request, right? While sending retrieval request, we have a 3 types of retrievals available for Glacier instant retrieval. What are those? The first one is expedited retrieval. Second one is standard retrieval. And the third one is bulk retrieval. While sending retrieval request for Glacier instant retrieval storage, we have 3 types of retrievals available. Whereas for the Glacier Deep Archive, Glacier Deep Archive storage, we have just 2 types. One is a standard and the second one is a bulk. That we can see practically. And here, this expedited is very costly, and the data will be available within 5 minutes. Standard, it will take like 3 to 5 hours. Bulk, it might take up to 24 hours. And here it is like up to 24 hour. I think it is like 12 hours. Here standard will take 24 hours, and this might take up to 48 hours also. We will see all those things practically. Now, what we do is, so total how many we have? 7 different storage classes, right? Create 7 different text files and upload into S3 bucket using different storage classes. Different storage classes. For this, what I do is, so here I will create a new folder, and here I will create a text files. Any name that doesn't matter. I will give some meaningful names in which I will upload the data into that such storage classes. I can say standard storage class. Okay. Now let me, this is for standard IA, and this is for intelligent tire. Then one zone IA, glacier, instant retrieval, glacier, flexible retrieval, glacier deep archive, okay, intelligent tire. There is no rule you have to use a same content, same file name. You can use anything, that doesn't matter. Okay, intelligent tire, one zone IA. Okay, so I have a different files. Let me upload the objects into different storage classes. Okay, how to upload? Get into the S3 bucket. Get into your S3 bucket. So already we have 2 objects. By default, every object will be uploaded into standard only, right? Now again, let me upload, but this time let me choose manually, like what objects, what storage class to be used. How to do that? Click on upload, add file on my desktop. I have a folder called S3. Yeah, standard. Instead of clicking on upload, what I do is I will click on properties. Here I will choose a standard and then click on upload. Okay, now I have a different thing. How can I upload the object as a public at the time of uploading? For that, here under permissions, you can choose grant public read access and select this checkbox and click on upload, so that the object will be uploaded as a public object. Object will be uploaded as a public object. Let us upload it as a public also. Okay, click on close and you can see the object is uploaded into standard storage class. Now let me upload into standard IA. Click on upload, add files, different object name is standard IA. And here in the under properties tab, click on properties. I will choose a standard IA and just upload. That's it. Likewise, I will upload the other objects also. See here. I will upload the other objects also into different storage classes. Give me a 2 minutes. Let me quickly upload. Add files, then one zone IA, properties. Here one zone IA, upload. Okay, again, one more. Add files, intelligent tire, properties. It is the intelligent tiring, upload. Upload, add files, Glacier instant retrieval, properties, selected the Glacier instant retrieval, upload. Done. There are two more files. Let me upload. Glacier flexible retrieval, properties, Glacier flexible retrieval. You can see which is formerly Glacier. Upload. Done. We have one more, which is upload, add files, Glacier deep archive, properties, Glacier deep archive. And you can see there is one more. You might ask, okay, why didn't you explain reduce redundancy? It is the outdated one. And you can see which is not recommended as S3, as S3 standard is more cost effective. Reduced redundancy is costlier, which is not recommended by Amazon also. So that's why we skip that. Okay, upload and done. You can see different objects were uploaded using different storage classes. First, let me check the standard. Let me select the standard.txt file. And here there is an option called open, right? Click on open. In a new tab, that object will be open and I can see the data. Okay, right. Then let me select the standard IA, open. Whenever I can see the data means that object is available for instant access. With immediate access, instant retrieval, instant access, whatever it is, all are same. Then one zone IA, open, yes, no error. Then intelligent tire, open, yes. Then Glacier instant retrieval. What is the Glacier instant retrieval use case? Glacier instant retrieval is with Glacier instant retrieval designed for long-lived archived data accessed once a quarter with instant retrieval. Even though it is a Glacier, your data is available for instant retrieval. How to verify that? Select the object, click on open or download. That doesn't matter. If you click on download, if the object got downloaded instantly, which means instant retrieval. If you click on open, if the object got opened instantly without any delay, any waiting period, which is called as an instant retrieval. If you upload some .exe file or if you upload a Word document, you can't open it. You have to download it first. Okay, you can use these two buttons to check. So we verified that Glacier instant retrieval is available for instant access. Okay, then what is the Glacier flexible retrieval? With the retrieval of minutes to hours, you have to wait. The data is not available for immediate access. Let me select Glacier flexible retrieval object. I mean, the object which is stored in Glacier flexible retrieval storage class. Can you see open button? I can't click on open. I can't click on download. You might say, okay, there are some actions menu. Click on actions. No option. Only thing is initiate restore. Restore is like send a retrieval request. So instant access is not possible. So how to, let us say I want to download this file just to compare something or to do something. Okay, so here select the object. Now let us do it. Verify the object's instant access based on their storage classes. Based on their storage classes. And observe that Glacier flexible retrieval and a deep archive are not available for instant access. Okay, now initiate restore of the object stored in Glacier instant retrieval using expedited retrieval method. and observe that the object is available for access within 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes. That is what expedited retrieval. Okay, select the object, actions, initiate restore, and here number of days that the restored copy is available. If I say 3, means whatever the object we are restoring. Restoring means nothing but like recovery. That is restoring for access, or else it will be maintained in the backend. So for the next 3 days, the object is available for immediate access. After 3 days, it will go back. Again, if you want to access after 3 days, again, you need to send the restore request. That is what this one. And here, retrieval tires. How many? 3. Expedited retrieval, typically within 1 to 5 minutes of time. I mean, the object is available within 1 to 5 minutes. For standard retrieval, within 3 to 5 hours. For bulk retrieval, within 5 to 12 hours. But retrieval charges are very less in bulk. Retrieval charges are a little bit high, and in the expedited, it is more high than the standard and bulk. These are the waiting times. Now I'm going to use expedited retrieval so that our data will be available within 5 minutes. Let's scroll down and click on initiate restore. Before clicking on this initiate restore, the Glacier flexible retrieval object is not available for access. Okay, this is the object which we initiated the restore, right? This object is stored in the Glacier flexible retrieval storage class. And here restoration status is in progress. Retrieval tire which we used is expedited retrieval. Typically within 1 to 5 minutes, the object is available. While it is getting retrieved, let us verify the Glacier deep archive. See here, this is also not available to open or download, right? Okay, now let us write down another thing. Initiate restore of the object stored in Glacier deep archive using standard retrieval. Why? Because for the Glacier deep archive, expedited retrieval is not available. And observe that the object is available for access within 3 to 5 hours. That is available within 3 to 5 hours. Sorry, it is not 3 to 5 hours. I think within 12 hours. Within 12 hours, that we will verify. Okay. So select the object, actions, initiate restore. Standard retrieval is typically within 12 hours, right? For the bulk retrieval of Glacier deep archive, it will take up to 48 hours. Okay, let me choose standard retrieval and click on initiate restore. Object will be available within the next 12 hours. Means now it is a 720, right? By tomorrow morning 7:20, the object is available for access. And we can verify this in the tomorrow session only. We can't verify this retrieval of Glacier deep archive because we have to wait at up to 12 hours. Okay, now let us talk about the Glacier flexible retrieval. We already initiated the restore request, right? And what we observed, we used the expedited retrieval method in which the object is available for immediate access within 5 minutes. Let me select this. Now, can you see the open? Earlier, there is no open button available because it is not available for immediate access. Now, object is available for access because we restored using expedited retrieval. If you have used standard retrieval, then the object might be available within 3 to 5 hours. 3 to 5. And if you can see, for Glacier deep archive and Glacier flexible retrieval, the waiting times are different for standard. The Glacier flexible retrieval, the waiting time is 3 to 5 hours, whereas in the Glacier deep archive, 12 hours is the waiting time for standard retrieval method. For bulk, it is up to 48 hours in the Glacier deep archive, and it is like within 5 to 12 hours in Glacier flexible retrieval. These are the different storage classes. And remember, in the real time, we always use we always use either standard for regular data or glacier. One of these glacier instant retrieval or a deeper. We don't use the other storage classes. But if you're planning for a certification, you must know about all these storage classes, like especially the use case. They will never ask what is the minimum billable storage, billable object size, what is the minimum storage duration. They don't ask those questions. They will give you a scenario, like you are working for a company, a media company, or some kind of what we call that, this news agency or ad agency, and we have some high quality images, and your organization wants to maintain the thumbnails of each and every high quality image, and the thumbnails are not regularly accessed, which for a minimum charges, what storage class you prefer? Definitely we should go for S3 one zone IA. Why? Because if the data gets lost, first of all, it is an infrequent access, so you have to go one of these two, and they mentioned with least possible charges. You can use standard IA also, but one zone IA is lowest possible charges when comparatively with the standard. Why should I choose one zone? Because we are not storing the actual images. We are storing the thumbnails, which are generated from the actual original images. If the thumbnails gets lost, we can easily regenerate it from the original images. If they ask you to store the original images, then you have to go for standard IA. But here we are storing the thumbnails which are generated from the original images, which can be easily recreatable. To avoid the high cost, we can go with one zone I. This is how you will get the questions in the certification exams. Almost 90 to 95% questions are going to be the scenario based questions. They don't ask you a question like what is EC2, right? Or what is IAM? They don't ask these questions. Even if you're going for an interview, they don't ask like what is EC2, what is IAM. They will ask you a scenario based questions. They will give you a scenario or a use case, and they might ask you what service might be recommended or required to fulfill that use case. So that's why whenever you are learning or whenever you are practicing the things, you have to understand the concept in and out, everything you need to understand. So why you are selecting this option, why you are clicking next button, why not the other option, why it is behaving like this if I select this option, what happens if I don't select that option. You have to explore each and every option, because nobody can teach you each and every option available, right? So you have to explore. First, we have to follow what we are dealing here, what we are learning, and then you need to explore the other options or the features available on that particular service. Okay, right. So this is about the storage classes. So is that clear, or any questions in the storage classes? Is that clear, or any questions on the storage classes? Okay, it seems I'm not getting any questions, so I hope you guys are clear. So if you guys are clear, you guys can leave. If you have a question, just you can wait and you can ask me the questions. Thank you, everyone. We'll continue tomorrow. We have a lot of features on S3, right? We will go with other features available.